Hi guys, it's Belle here, and it is time for me to create the next tag in my Festival of the Year tag swap with the lovely Tiff over at Amethyst Raven. Links to her will be down below. Please do go over and show her lots of support. She is super lovely, and if you enjoy storytelling, she does lots of that on her channel too. So, if you're new here, hello and welcome. This year, Tiff and I have been making a tag themed around each of the pagan festivals in the Wheel of the Year. There's a playlist of that on my channel if you've missed any of them. I know lots of you have been following along and really enjoying it. And we are moving on from Beltina in May, and we are heading to Iha Fileon or Granstad, and that is Midsummer, or as is often referred to in the pagan Wheel of the Year, it is the summer solstice, Litha. So I'm going to be making a tag, and I'm going to be telling you, as I always do, about my more Irish celebrations and some of the history of it. You may have heard an Irish title there, slip that in, Iafil on. So yes, I'll be telling you about that, but I'm actually going to make something that I hadn't made before, so I did have to do a prototype of this, but who knows how it's going to work out. So let's focus on that first. I took two sheets of paper. This is just normal copier paper. I used a range of sprays. I used my Cosmic Shimmer Ink Mist in tangerine, sorry. I used Distressed Oxide Rusty Hinge, and I used the dancy bit left of my Lemon Zest Illusions ink spray. I also used a stencil to get this beautiful colour, because the first thing you need to know about Midsummer, the summer solstice, is that it is a sun festival. This is the longest day of the year, and therefore the colours associated with the summer solstice are yellows and oranges and some greens, so we'll bring in a little bit of green possibly in places, but it is that bright yellow summer colour. So I did two pieces of paper, so if you want to have a go at this yourself, you will need, not necessarily inked, you could do it with just normal paper and card, but I wanted to ink mine and make it interesting. And then you are going to cut out 7-ish pieces. So I've already got 6. Is there 6 here? Is this? Yeah, there's 6 pieces here on another sheet. And these are little 8 by 8 centimetre squares. I'm sorry, I do not know what that is in inches. I'm doing this in centimetres, so I'm going at 8 there, and we're going to need 8 here, and I'm only going to need the 1 square because I already have 6 of them. Why I do this to myself? We've had a household of people being poorly. I'm in the middle of Creep on June, as well as all my other videos. And I chose something that not only have I not made before, but that involves numbers, folding, and a little bit of a tricky kind of putting it together. Why? Why do I do this to myself, guys? So we now have 7 squares. We now have 7 8 by 8 centimetre squares. And you can just see, I've just cut them up. You don't know what kind of pattern you're going to get. Oh, it's just so pretty. Now what you need to do is fold them. So I'll show you how to fold, then I'll do the rest. So you're going to fold it. You're going to have your square like this. You're going to turn it so it looks more of a diamond shape. You're going to fold top to bottom. So basically folding in half with a diamond shape. I would say that you do want, I mean, they're not going to be folded perfectly, but you do want to get those edges quite sharp, but it might be good to do that after you've folded everything. So you now have this shape. You're now going to take your right hand edge over to your left hand edge, like so. So we now have this shape. Our little square has become, I would say, a quarter. And then again, you're going to fold, you're going to fold it over again. So now we've got this flat bit on top. So we had the point on top, we folded it in half. We're now going to turn it so the flat bit's on top, and we're going to fold that in half. And this is the bit you need to try and keep it as in line as possible. And we are going to end up with a little square like that. Oh, a little square, a little triangle. What am I talking about? Let me do another one for you. Just one more. So again, we're going to fold in half. So we're going to take our square. We're going to turn it into kind of a diamond. So we're points at the top. We're going to fold it in half. We're then going to take our right hand over to the left, which will mean we'll end up with, we're going to turn that so that we've got the flat side of the triangle at the top, and then we are going to fold that. And you are going to do that for all 7 pieces. So I now have my 7 all folded, and what you now need to do is the edge that is on the fold, not these edges, we are going to draw a flower petal. Now, doesn't have to be anything fancy at all, guys. You guys might have seen this, especially if you're card makers, because this is a card maker idea or technique. I'm just going to draw a simple petal. A really, really simple petal. I wanted to try a sunflower petal, but because of the way they are quite more pointy, I just thought I'll do this. So I'm just going to do that. That's it, guys. And then you're going to cut that out. Again, making sure you've got that flat side. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Just need to trim that a little bit. And let me show you. This will now, fingers crossed if I've done it the right way, this should now open up and be a flower. Look at that. So now what I like to do, and firstly it's got like rubber marks on them, so I'm going to get my rubber out so I now like to take this and use this as a pencil guide. That needs to be as a pencil guide for my other ones. Again, making sure that you're putting the tip here where you've got the bend, so the closed bend, to the right hand side of it. And then yes, I would just draw around that. Like so. And again, cut it out. This is why you want, well, you do want thin paper. I don't necessarily suggest doing this with card. I personally haven't tried it with card, but you do want thinner paper, I would say, because you want paper that's going to, 1, be easy to cut on several layers, and 2, be able to fold in and out. So I'm going to do that to the rest of mine. So the next step, you can already sort of see it. Once you've cut them all out, the joy is, especially with this, because I'd done inking and stenciling on this paper, you don't know what you're going to end up with. And to be honest, if you prefer one side over the other, you can just like refold it, but you open it up and you've got this beautiful flower. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on, I've just got some ground espresso on this pad. I just want a little bit of definition around those petals. You'll see why, and also that's just my style. The interesting thing is, guys, beyond this technique, I have no idea what I'm doing with this tag. I've just been so focused on learning this technique. I'm going to come on with my Spectrum Noir alcohol ink pens because that's what I have. I need this one. I just had the lid off this. Sorry, hold on. Ah, ow, ow, ow. And this is TN4. To be honest, it's quite light. but I'm just going on with a circle. Now, if you're really good at drawing and things like that, you can come on and do lines on your flowers. You can make them super pretty and decorate them. I'm just happy that I've got these. Okay, now comes the slightly trickier bit again. So we're going to cut out one of the petals. So you're just going to come in along those lines and you're going to cut out one petal like so. And then what you're going to glue is you're going to glue the two petals either side of that. You're going to glue them onto each other. So let me do that again. So you're just going to cut out the one petal. Can't believe I forgot this part. I was so focused in the how we then glue it all together. So let me glue that. I'll glue this petal all together. Be careful just to get glue on these petals. Like so. So you'll end up with this kind of strange cone shape, and that is why it then folds into a 3. I knew it folded into a 3. I just forgot how I'd done it. So yes, you're going to do that like so. So now we have all our flowers that look a bit like this. Now comes the part where you're going to decide, you're going to have your 3, and I will do all of this on camera. Let me bring you down a little bit. So we have our 3 petals. So you're flattening it and you have your 3 petals. Now, this is the kind of trickier bit you have to get right. Some people use double-sided tape. You only need a tiny bit. If you do, I'm just going to use glue, and we're going to put glue on these 2 side petals, not the one at the top. And then we're going to glue our other flower, try and fit it onto there. Why does that petal seem so much bigger than that petal? Who knows? Okay, into 3. Sometimes it really helps if you press it back down and onto here. So you'll end up with your flower kind of looking like that. Then you're going to come on and put glue here at the top, here and here. Just those 3 places. You're going to get one more flower with its 3 petals, and you're going to lay that on these 3 here. I know, it seems very tricky, and if, like me, you seem to have done your petals slightly off so that they're not completely the same shape, how much fun is that? Then we're going to put glue here, so missing out the middle one, here, here and here, just at the tip, not the whole petal. And we are going to bring on our 3 again. This time we're going to put this here again, just those 2 petals. I really hope this works. I've only tried this once, and can I find my prototype? Of course I can't. Why should I be able to find my prototype? I'm only doing a video on it. Dear me. It has been a week, guys. It really has here. It's been a challenge this week. Let's put it that way. So let's do that. Again, that one seems much smaller. Anyway, and then we're going to put again glue here, here and here. And we are going to line that up. Now, what you will want to do is when we actually attach it to the tag, you will put tape here and here. But let me kind of show you what happens. Once it's in the tag, guys, when the tag opens, this will happen. Oh, do we love it? And there goes flat. Oh. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Let me bring you up a bit again. I'm so sorry. It's so hot here. I have to have the window open. So if you hear noise, I'm sorry about that, but I need that window open. So the tags we make are 6 inches by 3.5. I have 2 pieces because we need this fold on one, because I need the tag to be able to open really well. And I felt like having a little fold. It's only, say it's about 1 inch, this extra bit. So that's 6, so that's about 7 inches. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's about 7 inches. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this onto here, onto the inside. Are we ready, guys? Fingers crossed. Oh my goodness. I hope you love that, Tiff. And then obviously this is going to flip down. Right. I hope you love it. I just... Oh, it makes me smile so much. So in all honesty, guys, the video I did showing you how to make this tag didn't go very well. Multiple reasons. So what I'm going to do is you would have seen me make, I hope, the flowers. If I'm able to edit that bit, you would have seen me make the flowers, but I'm going to talk you through the rest of the tag, and then I'm going to share about Midsummer with you. So it's going to be a talky video. So you would have seen me do the flowers, and I will, or how to do the flowers inside. This is how the finished tag looks. I think I may ink it. Because of the way I've done the inside, I can't actually put a tab on it, but I obviously wanted some fabric, so we have this clip. So let me show you. I used this from a diary. I can't remember which diary it was. It might have been one of the Moon diaries. It's got the bee and everything. We've got Litha on there, which is the, I'll get into that, but it's more the English neo-pagan term for the celebration. And we have some honey die cuts on there, some bees. This flips open, and I've used a lot of hand-dyed yellow paper in here. I've used this stamp. It's by Stampendous, I think it is. LBCW007. I don't know if it's got the name of it on here. No, it's by Laurel Birch. Anyway, I've used that throughout with different inks. This is green Arondique ink, so there's writing space there. We've got another bee. We've got a little fairy that's embossed in silver pearl embossing powder. I've splattered all over with gold Winsor Newton, but I've also used my new Daler Rowney pearlescent in Sun Orange. I thought it was appropriate. So you have this orange and this gold, so there's writing space there. It then obviously opens up. We see the flowers. I've added bees inside. I added this bee napkin. I decoupaged that on there. We've got some more honeycomb, some bees. We've got the flowers. There's a bee on the flower again. I've used those splatters everywhere. This is from a little card that I had, a summer solstice one with the with Stonehenge. This then opens up for writing space with a magnet, and there is a recipe on my hand-dyed papers, and I've just put the suns in. I think it was, yeah, wild honey. I tried to pick that because honey, you know, solstice. Anyway, fruit iced tea recipe, and there's room on the back for Tiff to actually write on it. And then if we turn this over, there is a pocket. This is a Wendy Andrews print that I just absolutely love. Again, it was from a diary that I had. Some more honeycomb. This opens up for writing space, some more of that sun. There's a little pocket. There's a fairy there with holographic embossing powder. There's a bee. There's more writing space here, more of that sun. There's a little amber card about amber as a crystal. I love amber. Well, it's not a crystal, is it? It's tree sap, but it's one of my favourite things where I've put a little greet the dawn prayer in here. So, blessed sun, I greet your rays upon this sacred solstice day. Welcome be your warmth and light, bringing day out of night. I greet the dawn with joyous heart, and so midsummer does now start. And there's a little sun charm with a little carnelian crystal and a heart on there with some yellow sari silk. And in here we have a recipe for summer solstice salsa. Say that quickly, fast. And then on the back there's a midsummer fairy garden blessing. I call the kindly fairies into my garden. If you are kindly, then you are welcome from near and far. Bless this land, protect these herbs and flowers, fill them with your magical powers. Now hear my request as these words are spoken. In thanks I offer you this token. By the might of the midsummer sun, so must it be, and it harm none. And by token, that can be anything, Tiff, if you're watching, you know, flowers, crystals, whatever you want to kind of gift the fairies. And because that is magnetized, but it won't hold because there's so many things in there, and I put together this yellow paper clip. We've got sari silk in here in yellows and oranges, some whites. We've got some bells. We've got a little sunflower and a pentacle. And so that will clip onto there. There's gold even on the side. Can you see that, guys? I really hope you can. That'll hold onto there. Also hold that closed. But that is the finished tag. So let's get talking about Litha or Midsummer. Now, when the neo-pagans under Gerald Gardner and that kind of created the festival wheel of the year, they kind of looked back trying to get inspiration from old celebrations or words, and apparently I don't know if it's an old Saxon word or something, but they found that Litha supposedly was used around the solstice, so they began to use the word Litha as the celebration of the summer solstice, midsummer. I don't know if I've said before, so I'll just say again, the summer solstice is the longest day of the year. Astrologically, it is the start of summer, although as I said in my Bieltana video, tag video, for the Irish Celts in particular, Bieltana was the start of summer, hence midsummer. So it can be confusing. It's got many names and is a celebration celebrated around the world in many different ways and cultures. Lots of indigenous cultures celebrated this time of year because it is the longest day of the year and the shortest night. Although saying that, it's all about balance. We also have the sun entering the sign of Cancer, whose planet is the only astrological sign in the Western astrology year that planet is the moon. I know the moon's not a planet, but still it's the moon. And so we have day and night. We have masculine, because in a lot of Western cultures the sun is associated with masculinity, and we have the moon, which is associated in Western cultures with femininity. And so we have this balance of day, night, height of the sun, but still entering into the feminine moon time. Also, from this time onwards, there's a few days around the solstice where the days are longer, but from this time onwards, our nights get longer and our days get shorter. We are heading into winter time, guys. We are heading into darkness. So we enjoy the sunshine, the height of the sun, but we are always reminded in that balance that we are heading towards the dark time of the year, which seems contradictory, but is in everything there is balance. Now, I, being Irish, follow a more Irish Celtic route, and in Ireland we don't necessarily celebrate Litha. It's not an Irish word. There is, now my pronunciation might be wrong of this, I'm not a native Irish speaker. I am Irish, I was born there, my family's Irish, everything like that, but we did not speak Irish Gaelic, so I'm learning it as an adult. But there is Iha Fila On, which basically is St. John's Eve, and that is celebrated on the 23rd of June. It is linked to John the Baptist, but it is definitely the celebrations hark back to pagan Ireland. And as with many celebrations, especially in Ireland, Christianity and the pagan traditions kind of blended to become something that everyone could celebrate. And so Iha Fila Oen is St. John's Eve, or you can say Grenstad, which I think it's Grenstad is Sambrig, because Sam something is summer, and those of you who are pagan will know that name Sam because you'll know it for another festival later in the year. But Grenstad literally means sun still, because Gren is to do with the sun, Stad is stillness. So yes, the sun is standing still. But the festival of St. John's, again, like I said, it's more Christian because it's to do with John the Baptist. However, the way it is celebrated is definitely has its roots in paganism. It's very similar to Beltane. So if you haven't watched my Beltane tag video, definitely go back and watch that. It is a time of bonfires. We love bonfires back home in Ireland. We definitely love a bonfire. But with these bonfires in particular, for Beltane, it is about protection. You're protecting your cattle and yourself from illness and that. But for the summer solstice, for St. John's Eve, it is to do more with protecting of the home and your fields. So what they would often do is build their bonfires in a way that depending where the wind was blowing, the smoke of the fire would then cover your home, your field, your garden. And so the smoke is considered the protective element alongside the fire, whereas Beltane is definitely more the flames. This is also a time of festivals, music, dancing, good food. I mean, any of the festivals are going to be like that. But, you know, you're outside. The community has built a fire. These things still happen in parts of Ireland. So definitely go look that up if you are interested. And one of the things associated, and again, this would have had links in pagan Ireland, is fire jumping. Now, I don't recommend this, guys. Please don't do this. But what would happen is young men would jump over the flames. They wouldn't be the giant 6 foot, 8 foot high bonfires. They'd be smaller fires, but they would jump and they would try and do it as dramatically or beautiful. Imagine diving, you know, in competitions, diving competitions or gymnastics. They would try and do it really well. They'd try and do it several times. They would show off. They're showing off how agile, how young, their prowess. They're kind of, it's a bit like birds with feathers, you know, saying, look at me, aren't I brilliant? It's that kind of thing. Young girls would jump over smaller fires because it is about protecting them. It's about fertility. Fire is to do with fertility. In Beltane, we have the May Day dance or the maypole, and there would have been a lot about fertility. People would have probably met, as I said in that video, getting friendly, and by the solstice, if you still haven't found a partner, this is the time to really focus on that. So you have fire jumping, smoke for protection, all that kind of thing. Now we get on to the idea of other things to do with this time. So one of the reasons people were showing off, young girls in particular, would do a lot of spells to do with love and divination. Divination's huge for a lot of festivals, but it's huge during Midsummer, whether you use tarot, scrying, runes, organ, whatever you use as divination. But this is where we get a lot of those kind of, what they called, like old housewife tales. So the picking of the daisy petals, he loves me, he loves me not, he loves me, he loves me not. There's even an old tradition of going into a field of daisies, closing your eyes, picking some, then opening, and however many are in your hand, that's how many years before you get married. There's all the, you know, eating an apple and throwing the pips into the fire, walking around a churchyard. This can be 3 times, 9 times, whatever it is, and saying, I can't remember if you walk around backwards or not. I can't remember. I think it's Samwise, and then saying a little chant, and then often behind you you'll see the image of your future love, or you might dream of him that night. You might turn your clothes inside out and put them on a chair, and in the evening the sort of vision of your true love will come in and turn them the right way round. There's a lot of that kind of thing. Who am I going to marry? When am I going to marry them? And if I'm already looking at someone, let me jump over a fire and look like a really good match. So there's lots of that. That's why also at this time we get the tradition of weddings. Still today, many weddings take place in June. It's summer, the sun is up, there's fertility everywhere, the land is full of flowers and grass and animals and baby animals. And, you know, if you've met your love at Beltena, then this is the time you want to really cement that relationship and get married. It's a time, particularly in the pagan community, for hand fasting. I was lucky enough to perform a hand fasting for a very dear friend a few years back. It was my first ever time of doing something like that. I was very nerve-wracking because all her family and friends were there. But it's a time of hand fasting, weddings, and all of that. And like I said, it's a time of divination. Then you also have protection spells. We already have spoken about the smoke over the gardens with protection, but also protection spells. So this time of year in particular, for Imbolc, I would have burnt my Bridget's crosses and remade them. For Midsummer, I would normally burn any Rowan crosses that I've made, or Rowan charms, because Rowan is a protection herb and tree and its berries. And you would normally just do almost like literally a cross and bind it with sometimes red or green string, wool, and I often add Rowan berries and other things and charms. But they would be burnt and new ones would be made, and the sun, I'd put them out for the sun to bless them. There's also, even though it's hot, one of the things that is associated with this festival in particular is water. So there's the idea of leaving offerings at sacred wells. This is a big thing back home in Ireland. People still do it. You can find these wells all over. They're often Bridget wells, so St. Bridget wells. But any kind of well water, you would leave offerings in there. You would put herbs in there. You would leave your wishes for the coming year in there. There's the idea of sort of bathing in blessed water, and this is something definitely that you guys can do. Now, I like to give you all ideas that even if you're not pagan and you don't celebrate these, maybe ways you can incorporate some things into your own life, fun little things to just stop. The sun's standing still. Why don't we stand still and just enjoy this time of year, even if it's just for an hour, half an hour? So a really good idea is either you can get up in the morning with the sun. That is how I greet the summer solstice. I always get up with the sunrise, do a little prayer outside, a good time to do some yoga, just some meditation outside, but to greet the sunrise. And what you can do with that is you can take out a glass of water with you, and as you're greeting the sun, just think about that sun's energy going into your water and filling it up with energy and health and vitality, and then you would drink that. Now, you can do that any time of the day. You don't have to do it at sunrise. It doesn't have to just be water. I don't know why, but loads of people don't like water. It is literally my favourite thing to drink. The only other thing I drink is herbal tea. And I mean herbal, not caffeinated. So I love water, but I will use frozen berries in my water. I will use like mint. I like to put mint into ice cubes and things and put that in my water. So those of you who do work a lot with the idea of food and what that what vitamins and things that gives you, or how food relates to different elements, you can definitely put those things in your water and drink that too. So that's a good way. Or why not have an amazing bath? Just an amazing bath. You can do it with a shower as well, but I love baths. So, you know, make your bathroom look amazing, make it look beautiful, put flowers in there, bring in some like greenery or candles and crystals if you use them. Fill your bath up with the most beautiful bubbly bath scents or whatever that you can use. Put petals in there. Maybe make yourself a little bath charm with petals and herbs in it and put it in the bath as you're running it. Really stand there as you're putting your bath together for the evening and think, this bath is full of like vitality, health. Thank you to the sun, you know, do a little prayer over it or a blessing. And then when you get in it, really bathe in that bath, really take time to relax and enjoy your surroundings and sort of feel like you're just washing off the the previous parts of the year and bringing forth that vitality and health for the next part of the year. So at Imbolc, we would have thought about goals or planting seeds that we want for the coming year. By Bieltana, we would have seen many of those things blossom, hopefully. Some may not have. And we'll be thinking about the rest of the year and how we want to move forward. For Midsummer, this is a perfect time to really take stock, to stop and look and think, right, what goals worked? What have I already achieved? And give thanks for those achievements. And what goals aren't working or no longer suit me. And one of the ways of doing this is if you have got a fire, then you would put an offering, often flowers or things, herbs, things that can burn easily and aren't dangerous. You would give an offering for what you're giving thanks for, and then you can throw in some sort of representation or just write it on a piece of paper of what you want to now shed, what's no longer working for you, or bad habits that you don't want to carry on into the rest of the year that you want help shedding. Just throw those into the fire. Now, if you haven't got a fire, a great way of doing this is just to have a little candle, even a little tea light. Always, please be safe. Write these things on a little bit of paper, burn that paper. And then they often say put the paper in running water and things like that. So if it's something you want moving forward and growth, often I will plant those with a plant, because as the plant grows, you hope like your goals are blossoming. But yeah, just burn that, just shed it. So whatever bad habits you might have, you know, if you're kind of quit something, you know, you want to cut down on sugar or something like that, this is a great time to burn that away. It's literally, imagine it like the fire's kind of burning away that's everything that's for those first 6 months, and we're halfway through the year, so it's time to take stock of what's gone on in the first half of the year and plan what's coming in the next half of the year. It's a really good time for all that, but definitely the give thanks. I know in America and Canada you have Thanksgiving. We don't really have that in the UK. I know there is a festival that comes up later in the pagan wheel of the year that's kind of called a Thanksgiving, but in reality, you should always be giving thanks and gratitude, but this is a great time. And this brings us on to flowers. This is a festival with flowers, guys. There should be flowers everywhere now at this time of the year. Depending where you are, but definitely in the Northern Hemisphere. And so this is a great time to make flower crowns, to fill your home with flowers and greenery, decorate. Now, I know there's plenty of people who suffer with hay fever. I actually live with someone who has extremely bad hay fever. So those flowers don't have to be real flowers, guys. That's why I have a garden, because I've got my flowers out there. But in the house, they can be faux flowers. You can make your own flowers. You can, you know, there's plenty of silk and fake flowers out there. You can make them out of paper, as I have done, obviously, with my tag. And in fact, paper flowers are great, because one of the things that a lot of people make at this time of the year is flower crowns. So if you make a flower crown, you wear it during the day, during your festivals, just going about your daily day. Hey, why not just dust hoover and wear a flower crown, guys? Come on, just enjoy your life and live your best life. And then in the evening, burn that. But before you burn the paper flowers, don't burn plastic, guys, please. You know, don't burn the faux flowers. But if they're real flowers or paper flowers, you can write on the paper flowers your offerings or your thanks and the things you want to kind of let go of. You can burn them in a candle or fire. So I think they're a great idea as well. So that's definitely something anyone can do to just stop and sort of give thanks for that. So the the flower crowns and that are not only to do with maidens, you know, getting married before you become a wife and a mother, but they're also linked to the Fae. Now, this is, alongside Bieltana, the time of the year when our ancestors, and definitely in Ireland, we believe that the veil between our world and the world of the Fae, the good neighbours, the She, whatever you want to call them, is very thin. They are out being a little bit mischievous. So this is the time of year to be most careful when you're out walking about. Don't go into any fairy circles. Don't cross any fairy roads, anything like that. So yeah, fairies abound, mischievous. They're out having a good party just like the rest of us at this time of year. So this is a great time of year to do fairy magic or give thanks to the spirits and the fae in your garden, if that's something you do. It's a great time to make fairy wands, fairy crowns, any of that kind of thing that we've also done at Bieltana. It's a great time for that. But this festival in particular, adding something into your garden, like you might make a rockery, definitely get in your garden and do something if you have one. If you don't, just get some herbs for your windowsill, guys. Buy one plant for your house, and just decorate the pot. Wrap ribbons around it in the colours of Midsummer, which are yellows, oranges, reds and greens, all the colours of summer and nature. They're also similar colours to Bieltana, but I would say it's less the deep red of Bieltana fire and more a sort of lighter red of kind of romance and love and gentleness. They're really bringing in the hot yellows and oranges more at this time of year. So yes, go out in your garden, make a little rockery, make a little fairy garden. I have all throughout my garden little mushroom toadstool houses and little like buildings and things. One, I just think they're cute, but I always wonder, what if there's a visiting fae who may need a house for the night? You know, it's good to put that out there for them. Leave little offerings. You can leave them in the trees. Bells. This is the time of year I like to add bells to my tree. I like to hear them jingling. It's like fairy magic out there when you hear the wind blow through the tree. So we've had lights, we've had eggs, we've had ribbons, and we've got bells. Like, that tree gets covered, honestly. Right now it's covered in apples, but it has all these things put in it. Hang up things like that. Wind chimes. Oh my gosh, you could have a go at making your own wind chimes, guys, or just buy a wind chime, because you can hear that tinkling, that magic. You know, it gives you that feel. You're sitting outside, the sun is beautiful, you're drinking a nice summer fruit cocktail punch thing or water, and you can hear the tinkling of wind chimes. I mean, honestly, guys, it's just magical. It's just perfect. So you can have a go by making wind chimes. Leave an offering if you believe in that kind of thing. Often milk, something sweet, some sugared bread or something. Now the cynics amongst us might go, well, if that's gone in the morning, it's because of badgers, foxes and hedgehogs and things. Maybe, guys, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm just going to leave something out and say thank you. Say a big thank you to all the fae and spirits in my garden who are looking after my garden, a little prayer, and just give them a little offering so that they keep any mischief out of my house. Doesn't always happen. We often get crafting gremlins at my table or that, but I like to leave my little offerings. So you could do things like that. You could paint little houses and make them into faux fairy houses to decorate your house. Honestly, so many crafts at this time of year, guys. So yes, all that for the fairies. Another great thing, because you're to do with the sun, you want to capture that light. So this is a great time to dry orange slices really, really thin. I know that's also something we do around Yule, but you can dry orange slices really thin. You can hang them up and make a window decoration with them. They bring in the light. You get the smell of oranges. You get that orange glow through them. Beautiful. If you don't want to do that, you can paint, you know, like little sun catcher. You can buy them cheap in a lot of craft shops, especially in kids sections. You can paint your own little sun catcher decoration, put those on your window. You can make a crystal sun catcher, you know, so it's got crystals hanging down from it. Anything that catches light, refracts it, that you have on your windows, you're bringing that light in. You're bringing as much of that joy in as possible. So wind chimes, anything like that, brilliant crafts for this time of year. And yeah, a perfect time to go to the beach. Perfect. You can go and spend a day on the beach. You can have a little, like, if they allow, depending where you are, but like a little campfire, bonfire on the beach. Again, always be safe, please, guys, and take anything you leave with you. Let's not destroy our environment and the other creatures that share it with us. And also go in the water, have a good swim, look for hagstones. So that's a really good activity to do at this time as well. One of the other things that's done a lot at this time of the year is money spells. The sun is linked with abundance. So if this is a great time to do money spells, money prayers. But aside from that, if you don't do that kind of thing, This is also a great time to maybe have a look at your finances and see if there's things that need to be worked on, or see if there's things that maybe you want to save more and things like that. Think about the fact that we're coming up to a time when there's normally a lot of summer holidays. People are going away on holiday. We're also only a few months away from Christmas. I know, guys, I know you don't want to hear it because it's summer, but it's only 6 months away. So let's really think about that. That is an expensive time of year for those of us who celebrate it. So maybe this is the time to think, maybe I need to start putting money away for Christmas. Maybe you need to start saving money for this thing that's coming up. School's coming up in, well, for here in the UK, depending, between August and September. Maybe this is the time to start thinking about, if you've got young children, okay, well, they're going to be going to school uniforms, anything, whatever you need to save for. This is a really good time to just sit down and go through finances. So again, I like giving you lots of ideas that aren't necessarily linked just to paganism, but that any of you guys can take into your everyday life. So definitely think about money spells, if you do that kind of thing. Using citron, it's a great crystal for money spells, but also it looks like the sun. All of that kind of stuff is really, really good. Obviously, a lot of people in the UK in particular go to stone circles for the solstices. Now, there is debate whether they were used for magical or anything like that, or whether they were more just like an astrological way to see time. Either way, there's often a big celebration up at Stonehenge at this time of year and around the different stone circles, but Stonehenge is one of the most famous ones. I've never been there on the summer solstice. It gets packed and I'm not good with that kind of thing. I also wonder how many people are often there to celebrate, or how many people just want to go for it as be part of the party. Now, that's not a problem. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem is how often after that there is a bit too much rubbish. And again, we should all be taking care of our environment and not leaving things like that around. But I just don't do well around lots of groups of people either, so I don't go. But I have been blessed enough to celebrate a festival at Stonehenge before. Me and a group I was with actually got permission to go inside the circle, because if you don't know, the circle is now cornered off so that it's very rare for you to be able to go inside, because a lot of damage was being done to the stones and the ground, because there's tunnels underneath Stonehenge, because it was getting visited so much. When I used to live near Stonehenge when I was a lot younger, actually there was nothing there. You could just walk amongst the stones and through the fields and walk a dog or whatever, and you just can't do that now. And obviously we get more tourism and things like that, so they're more protected. But me and a group were given the permission to go inside, and because it was just us, it wasn't a big solstice, because it was just us, there was no other groups there. There were some tourists. It was a bit it felt a bit well, we were just being watched, because we were walking up to the stones, we were banging our drums, we were singing, we were doing all that good stuff. My youngest went with me, him and some of the other parents took some of their kids with them, and he must have been about, I don't know, 8 or 9 at the time, and we all went and were able to be inside the stones to celebrate a festival. And when I tell you that there is something in those stones when you touch them, especially after we'd created a sacred space, just even touching them with my hand or sitting with my back to one of them, you really felt that liminal space between us and the stones. It was one of the most extraordinary experiences I've ever had. So I feel very lucky to have done that. But yeah, it's a big thing at this time of year. Loads of people, because around the world, different buildings and stone circles, the solstice sun actually comes through in a certain way, which shows that they were kind of built to see that. So there is that as well, which is why I added the little Stonehenge. You could make your own mini little Stonehenge or stone circle in your garden. I at school actually made Stonehenge out of wood and made like a display, but that was many years ago. That's long gone now, but you can make a little one, or why not make one out of clay or something and make a little thing, a centerpiece for your table. That's going to bring us on to food. As you will know from previous videos, Food is a big part of any of these celebrations, but in particular for me, food is very important to me in how I celebrate these celebrations, celebrate these festivals, celebrate the festivals. And so this is the time you are bringing that sun energy in. Eat oranges, lemons, spices, cinnamon, ginger. A curry is a really good idea to have this time of the year. Barbecues again, anything that you cook over the fire, anything you want like yellow in your food, those yellow and orange peppers, chili, anything like that. Loads of fruits. Eat those fruits with the same colours, nectarines, cherries are sort of around, strawberries obviously at this time of year, anything with those reds and yellows. Take that sun energy into your body, nourish yourself with good food. I try to eat local produce and as seasonally as possible, but I will deviate a little bit. Unfortunately, I can't get hold of everything locally. I do try, because I try and cut down on carbon footprints and things like that. And I want to eat seasonally because there's more nutrients and I just feel more in touch with the earth by doing that. So, but things will change and I will eat certain things, like I've put a little salsa recipe. Chili is a great thing to have. Chili with salsa and tacos and all those spices. It's a great thing to have at this time of year. We think of cinnamon and ginger as winter things, but they got that spice. They've got that kick. You use saffron, turmeric, all these kind of colours. Put it in your food. Nourish your body with these things. I have a particular dish that my kids love where I make a chili and lemon linguine with spinach and stuff. They love that. I'm bringing in the green with the spinach. I'm bringing in the spice with the chili, and I'm bringing in the sun with the lemon. And it's so quick and simple to put together. And they really enjoy that. They also really love lemon cake. So I make lemon cakes, lemon cupcakes as well, but my lemon cake they really like. I can use like 10 lemons in my lemon cake. I want that thing as lemony as possible and as moist and soft and delicious as possible. So that's a big thing. Think about cooking, think about learning a new recipe, think about I often bake sun cookies because I have a cookie cutter in the shape of the sun, so I'll just bake normal cookies with and use my sun cookie cutter, or biscuits, some biscuits, cookies for those of my American friends. Yes, so bring in that food, think about drinks, but one of the most important things to bring in is honey. This is the time of honey. Bees are making it, it's all over. We also pull it into sort of the August time. I have a neighbour who has several hives. They love my garden, his bees. So every year they pick a different plant. I don't know why, but they do. And this year it's rosemary. So I'm going to be getting some interesting honey once they've turned my rosemary plant into that. And he always gifts me with some. There is also I've heard that if you eat local produced honey, it will help hay fever. I don't know. My partner still has hay fever, but he doesn't really like honey. So, it's not going to cure your hay fever, but I've heard it does help. So make foods with honey. I have honey on a lot of stuff anyway. I have it every morning on my breakfast because I normally have like a Greek yogurt with like granola and loads of fruits. I particularly like it when my fruit bushes, my raspberry and blackberry are in season, because I can just go pull the berries off and put it on my breakfast, and I have my yogurt and my honey with that. You can make meat dishes with honey. You can put honey on fruits and vegetables. There's also this like sausage mustard bake thing that I make that again, we have whole grain mustard and things to give that spice, and I also use honey in the marinade for it. So yeah, bring in that honey. At this time, a lot of pagans drink mead anyway, which is a honey based drink, and you might have a little bit of mead. And I know over here national heritage shops will sell different flavored meads as well, so that's always interesting to pick up seasonally. So yeah, honey. If you like honey, eat a lot of honey at this time of year. And don't forget to plant some flowers in your garden that attract bees. We need bees, guys. We have a shortage of bees. They are dying out. So this is a great time to make your garden really bee friendly. because it's encouraging the bees. They'll make the honey. It's all to do. It all links with all of that. So I think that's about all I want to really say about it, guys. So like I said, in Ireland, it's called St. John's Day. It's celebrated on the 23rd. I don't call it Litha, whatever you want to call it. It's there. I don't mind using that term. It's just not... Obviously, being Irish, that's not my celebration or the word we use. But I also don't celebrate St. John's in that way either. I just say Midsummer or the summer solstice. That's how I refer to it. Oh, the one thing I did miss out. Oh, I've got to say about this. So this is also the time of the year with the Holly and the Oak King begin a battle. They battle twice a year. They are the personification of masculine nature energy, but... girls can do it too. And you will have two. You will have someone representing the Holly King and the Oak King. One can wear more brown, one can wear more green. They often have the leaves, the oak and the holly on them. And I have done this so many times with my boys, and my boys have done it with their friends at different meets and that, meetings up for festivals. This is not a time to fight, guys. It might be the battle of the Holly and Oak King, but please always use, you know, common sense. No one gets hurt. There's no actual fighting. Think of it as a dramatic kind of dance off. You know, that's what you need to think of it as. So the Oak King represents the waxing time of the year, the summer time of the year, the time of the year when there's more light. The Holly King represents the waning time of the year and the coming into the dark time of the year and winter. So at this time of year, they battle and the Oak King loses. Because we are going into the winter months, the Holly King wins. The Oak King loses, which basically just means, imagine he's going into hibernation now and kind of going away. And the Holly King is bringing with him the waning part of the year towards winter. And at the winter solstice, they will battle again. And then the Oak King will win and he will see us towards summer. So it seems counterintuitive, but when you think about the days getting shorter and getting nearer to winter, even though it's blazing sunshine today and like I can't even have the fan on or the windows open and I am literally melting. I feel like the witch out of Wizard of Oz. I'm melting. So it seems counterintuitive, but it's not. It does make sense. So the Oak and Holly King will battle. My boys have always enjoyed that, especially my youngest. There are poems and songs about it, and someone will be narrating that whilst we're watching them kind of play, battle, dance, fight. No one gets hurt. It's all in good fun. Often drums are going to. But I've just done it in my garden with my boys when they were little, just the two of them. So, you know, it's good. It's not, again, it hasn't got its roots in Irish tradition, but that doesn't mean that I don't include it, because I try and make, when we celebrate, especially when my kids were younger, I try and pull in lots of fun things for them as well. And that is something that, as I said, my boys always enjoyed. My daughter always liked the flower crowns and the fairy wands. And I don't know if I've said, but please, if you're going to take anything, give what's gifted by nature. Don't pull a stick off a tree. Take what's already been on the ground. Don't pull up loads of flowers. Take what's been gifted. Try and grow your own if you can. Not everyone is blessed to have a garden. I understand that, guys. But someone you may know might have one. Ask if you can take some of their flowers, maybe. Whatever you take, leave always 99% there. And try not to take any wildflowers. Learn what's rare in your area and learn what not to pick. Because, you know, we need to keep these green spaces. It's important not only for our ecosystem and the animals and insects around us, but it's actually really important for our own mental health too, to have these green spaces around us. So always give what is always take what is offered, always take with thanks, and always give gratitude if you're going to do any of that. But yeah, my daughter loved the fairy crowns, the wands, all that kind of thing, fairy houses. My boys wanted to have the Oak and the Holly King battle, and although that doesn't mean they also didn't like making wands and fairy crowns, because they did, especially my youngest. He really loved all that. So there's so much to do. Like I said, back home, they're celebrating St. John's Eve. You can still find celebrations going on now, so you can go online and look those up. Different areas will have different traditions they do. There's an area, I don't know where it is, I can't remember if it's Cork or somewhere, where they put rushes around the doors and things like that, or they used to, because rushes are linked to liminal space and again protection. So there's all sorts of different traditions in different parts of Ireland, but it is to do with bonfires, feasting, protection, vitality, love, marriage, all these kind of things, divination, the power of the sun. Just get out there and soak it up. Use sunscreen, be safe. So yes, or go to the beach, find some hagstones and swim in some water, because if it's as hot as it is here, you're gonna need to cool off. Or just make your own little water thing filled with fruit and herbs and drink that during the day. You know, there's so many ways, there's so many crafts you can do. It's just a great time of year, guys, to be honest. But it's always in the back of my mind that this is the time to take stock, to stop as the sun has, and really look at the first half of the year and how I want the second half of the year to go, what I need to change in myself, what I need to focus on, and also start preparing for that darker part of the year, even if the days are super sunny. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I'm sorry the video went a bit all over the place and you didn't really get to see me make this, so I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry this has been mainly chatting with you, seeing my hands and the tag just sitting there, but you know, it's just been one of those weeks at the moment. I'm looking forward. By the time this goes up, it's going to be going up late. I would have already celebrated. So anyway, I still hope you enjoyed it. I still hope you learned something. I still hope I inspired you to do a little something. Again, you don't have to be pagan. You don't have to celebrate these things, but it doesn't stop us making some crafts, looking at the nature around us, and thinking about what we're eating, thinking about how we're interacting with it. Like, these are important things. That it doesn't matter what your faith or what you believe in. These are important things. So these are great times to do those kind of things, guys. So it's the part in the video that I personally enjoy the most, and that is I get to open my tag from Tiff. So excited. And she's put all these beautiful stickers on. Look at the bee and the flowers. Sunshine and good vibes. Yes, yes, yes. So let me just turn this over and cut it open. So there we go. Okay. Ooh. Move this. Oh, obviously, I've cut it back to front. Oh, another wax seal. Oh, I like that star one, Tiff. You have a great selection of wax seals. I like that. I've been pulling all these off and keeping them in a little tin for use in future projects. I have. And twine. Let's just pull this like this. So exciting. Love it, love it, love it. Always excited to see what Tiff makes me, especially as she's been really experimenting with stitching and hand drawing in a lot of her makes lately, which I just love. Oh, read this first. Can I read it out loud? I'm gonna, oh my goodness, you could not get more Litha. Well, add a few bees, but oh my goodness. Right, I'm gonna read this first. Hold on. Dear Belle, happy Litha, hope you're doing well and family are good. Oh, I recently came across this cross-stitch pattern I'd got from a witch casket box ages ago. They did a cross-stitch pattern? I used to get witch casket. I did not get a cross-stitch pattern. And I had grand designs of doing it. I put the thing in the hoop and then I thought, who am I kidding? I'm not going to do it. And then I thought, I know someone who might get better use of this than me. So this is yours now. Enjoy. This is also in place of any hand stitching on the tag because I didn't do any. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I didn't get that one. Do you still get witch casket? I will ask you. I will message you. Here are some instructions for the tag. I know. Why are there rules? Because I was determined to do something specific and it kind of works as long as you follow my instructions. They are easy instructions. Oh my goodness. You are really making me smile, Tiff. 1. Hold the tag by the edges in one hand with the big flower side. I haven't even opened the tag yet. Facing you, make sure the flower is stuck to the tag. the thing the fabric is attached to, pull that out straight up and very slowly, although it's kind of tight, so you may need to yank it. Just yank it slowly. Making this tag was a stark contrast to what I've been doing from Creep on June, so I've tried to disassociate from the Gothic style and be more colour. I feel you, Tiff, honestly. Obviously I made mine during Creep on June too. Yeah, it was a lot to get my head around. Although after I made it, I was looking at it and thought, hang about, I haven't put a single sun on it apart from the charm. So I went back off camera and did a little collage of sunshine to make up for my oversight on this sunshiny day. Hope you like it. Lots of love, Tiff. I add things off camera too. So, yes, which is why you need to watch Tiff's video, because sometimes I add a bit of extra, because we all know that's what I do in my general. Oh, look at the flower napkin. Oh, so this is the Witch Casket one. Intentions cross stitch. Contains everything you need to create a hand embroidered work of art. Okay, yeah, I never got this. I stopped getting Witch Casket a couple of years ago, so I don't know if they're still going. I know I used to love it when I used to get it. Let's have a look at what it is. Oh, I will it, so mote it be. Oh, interesting. And it uses DMC, which is my main thing. Oh, it comes with all the threads anyway. Oh, isn't that pretty? Lovely. And the little, look. Did it come like this, Tiff? I'll have to message you. But did it come with a ribbon around it already, or did you do that? I like doing that to the hoops. But I'm going to do that, Tiff, and then I will definitely show you. Okay, so what did you say? I have to hold it with... Oh my goodness. I have to hold the tag by the edges in one hand with the big flower side facing you. Facing me? Side facing you. Make sure it's stuck to the tag. Well, firstly, I'm seeing so much fabric. I'm in love. Right, so the flower is facing me. I'm holding it by the edges. Make sure it's stuck to the tag. Yeah, I believe it is. The thing the fabric is attached to. Oh, that. Okay. Pull it straight out very slowly. Does the flower go up, Tiff? Oh no, is the flower meant to go up, Tiff? Oh, hold on. Is that meant to be stuck on there? And then... Oh no, what have I done? Have I done it wrong, Tiff? Did I do something? Is it meant to be stuck more on this bit? Is this a window? That's what I'm trying to see. Does this move? I feel like whatever I'm meant to do, this is meant to be pulled up because it's bent over. By the way, is this the sunflower you grew? Because I love that. I feel like that's what's meant to happen, but it couldn't go up any further there. I can't see this as a window. I'm sure I've done something wrong, or that it's done something when it's been, you know, through the post. Head over to Tiff's because I'm sure it was a... Is there a magnet? Hold on, I just heard something. It's magnetized. I heard it, listen. Hold on. Ah! It's a magnet and a growing sunflower. No, 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 no. Okay, I worked it out now. Oh, love it, Tiff. And you use the magnet. This just makes me happy. Oh, that makes me happy. Oh, I could just play with that for ages, do you know? This does look like a sunflower. What are you talking about? Okay, I'm going to remove that just so we can have a look at the beautiful. Tiff's really good with just collaging lots of really interesting bits. And sometimes it's not till I go back afterwards and I'm taking my time to really sit with the tags, because obviously I'm opening this on camera. But when I go back afterwards, that's when I see like all the little bits and bobs. We've got some glitter. We've got the heart down here. There's butterflies and washi. And this feels like, I want to say handmade paper, but it might also be like tissue paper. We've got blackberries. Love it, says Litha down there. We are using this. I just love that. And obviously we get to see this tag. Sorry, let me do this. June. It's all about it. Love this stenciling. Love it, Tiff. And then, oh, look, I can write on the back. Oh, love that. Love this. Look at all this fabric. It's very tropical. That is fun. Look at all that greens and brights. So much fabric. I just want to keep doing this. Oh. And we have a little flower. I'll look at the rest of the tag in a sec. A little flower, a little leaf. Oh, a little sunshine charm. Look at that one. I've never seen that charm before. That's cute. A fairy. See, fairies. And triple moon. And a wand. That's sweet. Yep, fairies in June. Fairies in June. The magnet must be on here somewhere. Yep, there it is. I feel it. I love that you're playing with magnets. Again, if you've been here any length of time, you're just going to know. Oh, by the way, I really like this too. I don't think I said it. I was too excited to get into the tag itself. There's my bats. Oh, what have you used on there? Is that the watercolours? That's got really good texture because of the dagger, but that's definitely got something on it. Hold on. Is that texture paste? That feels like Tiff, you're just so sweet. You really are so sweet. I'm so glad we're doing this swap. So yeah, we've got all about June 21st, a sacred prayer. I recognise these two. Like, I recognise the books they're out of because we have the same books. Yep. So that's cute. And again, let me bring that up so you can see what she's done on the back. This must be hand-dyed paper too. It definitely looks like hand-dyed paper. Okay, summer pudding. Yep. Very simple, old-fashioned pudding with fruit from the backyard. That is good. My pear tree is in overload, but my blackberry bush is already flowering. So hopefully I'll get a lot of blackberries that I can use in this. Fruit, sugar and bread. Sounds good to me. Ah, I love that on the back. Is this from... This looks familiar, but I don't know why it looks familiar. I'm sure you would have said in your video, Tiff. Summer watermelon and basil skewers. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? I like anything with watermelon in. I think it's because I grew up partially in Cyprus as a child, and the watermelons there were like as big as me. I remember taking my kids back when they were little. My youngest son was only 4.5 months old, and my other son was 2. And I've got a picture of him with a watermelon that he's trying to hold and eat, and it literally is bigger than him. It's the funniest. We all love that picture. Anyway, sidetracked, but that's what it reminded me of. Thank you for the memory. Blueberry and lemon tea. That also sounds absolutely delicious. Because as we all know, I love tea. And as you will know, if you've been watching these tag swap videos, food is very important to my celebrations of these Sabbaths. Tiff, this is really lovely. I love it. One side actually worked out. Silly me. Magnet. It's only because I was putting it down. Do you know what I saw you? Who did this? Was it you, Tiff? In your Creep on June journal? Was it with the game that you put the magnet pieces on so you can move them? I'll have to go back and watch, but I think that's what I saw on there. Anyway, I'll message you. Why am I even having to go back and watch? I'm going to message you. I'll chat with you about it later. Anyway, thank you so much, Tiff. I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. It's got so much texture. It's got magnets. It's got recipes. What more could I want? I'm loving your drawing, and I just love your kind of collage. They do, see? You said in one of your videos, because I like cohesion, you've been doing the same similar kind of techniques, but changing up on the tags so they all look very coordinated. I didn't do that on your tags. After always saying in things, oh, I like to really be cohesive. I didn't do that with your tags, but I really appreciate that you've done it on mine. It just makes that little part of my brain that likes everything to be cohesive happy. So thank you so much, Tiff. You really are sweet. yeah, so much to love on this. Thank you so much. Another great tag. Can you believe we're already here at the summer solstice? Can you believe it? Oh my goodness me. Well, I just love it, and I'm already excited for the next one. So guys, please go over and check out Tiff's videos and see her opening my tag and how she has made this one and her thoughts behind it. It's such a fun tag and so interactive. And anyway, Tiff just is lovely and I really enjoy her videos. So go over, show her some love. I know quite a few of you have subscribed to her, because when I look in the comments of her videos, I recognise some of the names. So I am so grateful that you guys do that, because she really is such a sweet person and very, very creative. So that's brilliant. So go over, watch her video. And if you haven't seen, if this is your first tag swap video of mine you've watched, there is a playlist. This is the first year Tiff and I are doing it. So do go back and check those out if you are interested. And don't forget, hit that little bell subscribe button so that you will be notified when our next tag, which won't be till August now, but is kind of right at the start of August, comes up for Lammas/Lunasa. So yes, hit that bell so that you will be reminded when that video comes up, because that is one of my favourite Sabbats. So yes. Yeah, I hope you enjoy that too. I'm just waffling now because I'm looking at the tag. So thank you so much for watching. Please head over to Tiff. Please do like, subscribe, comment and share in this video if you haven't already. I know quite a few of you are really enjoying this tag swap. And I'll be back again soon with another video. But until next time, I hope wherever you are in the world, if you celebrate it, that you are having a beautiful summer solstice, Litha. And also that you're having lots and lots of good food and crafty fun. Bye for now.